Anthony Davis's dad sucks. Why are we talking about loyalty? What's more loyal? You trading away an injured player for a player that's better? Or you going up to the franchise that's invested everything into you, trying to build a team around you and saying, I want to trade and I only want to go to this team and I ain't going anywhere else and I don't care what your deal is?
That's just his dad trying to protect his son from the, which I don't even think he'd really get a ton of, but I think it's pretty obvious to everyone that Anthony Davis wants to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. And, Boston's the other team that's always mentioned in one of his possible destinations. And I think it's just obvious to the world that he wants to play for the Lakers. So I think his dad just had to come up with something out of thin air, and that was the straw he could grab to make it seem like he had some kind of legit reason to not want to go there. But it's just it's bullshit.
I mean, as much as I don't want to see him go to the Lakers, because I think the competitive balance in the NBA, of course, it's in the favor of these big markets or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't you think the Lakers have the most to offer though?
Yeah.
Well, if that trade is real that I saw, which it's not, that's probably the Pelicans just floating it out there as it.
It's somebody
to force the
floating it
deal.
out there.
Yeah, it's somebody is. They want to force that deal. They're like, hey, this is the only thing we'll do. You're not holding us hostage.
It's like
shit.
no different than the 4 first-round draft picks for Jimmy Butler from Houston. Somebody floated it out there to try to get somebody else to cave.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Lakers are basically the Cavs when LeBron's out, so.
So let me ask you, what is
they got a bunch of guys that are potentially good.
Yeah, it's the young,
right?
Guys, and if you can trade for 3 or 4 of those young
what
guys
was the
to
trade
get Anthony
again?
Davis, it was Kuzma, Ingram, Ball, and Zubats, right?
You make that trade then. That's why I don't think it's real, because they would have said yes yesterday. They would have said yes before the trade came out.
I think they would have too, because if you get all 4 of those guys and you can hit on 2 of them, I mean, even if you hit on 1 of them, I mean, you're guaranteed to basically have that guy for the next, 5 years until he starts whining about wanting to be out.
You're already losing Anthony Davis anyway. So if you can get all that back, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do it.
But they're not going to be good.
Well, they're losing Anthony Davis anyway, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, too, I saw is
But they're not going to be good if they lose Anthony Davis.
Well, they're losing him.
Right.
Yeah, they're not really good with Anthony Davis either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if they don't do anything and just hold him and
they made the second round of the playoffs.
I mean,
last year.
I'm talking about this year. I know last year they were pretty good, but this year they're not a playoff team right now.
They were kind of up in there before Davis got hurt, weren't they?
I know that they're below 500.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to say they're even great, but the thing I think about though is when I feel like there's 7-8 teams in the NBA that are popular teams, for lack of a better term.
The
teams that drive the league's popularity.
The teams that the NBA leverage.
Yeah.
For ratings.
Yeah, when the Lakers, they get LeBron James and their timetable moves up to be good. They want to go pluck a superstar from one of these more unimportant teams. So a team like the Pelicans.
Yep.
Or the Wolves or whoever. There's other teams that have lost superstars. The Nuggets with Carmelo,
Clippers.
off the top of my head. More like Midwest teams that I think about.
Okay.
I consider it flyover country, but
Utah, they lost Hayward.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put him in the category with some of these other guys, but I mean he's a good player. But more talking along the lines of trading for a superstar when you have a few young pieces that you can trade. I look at the Pelicans and I'm if they lose Anthony Davis, they're not going to be good. If they make that Lakers trade, do you think they're going to be good?
The Pelicans or the Lakers?
The Pelicans.
No, I don't.
They're just going to be the Lakers of last year. Theoretically, they could develop into good players, but I mean, it's not a sure thing. And what you're saying is right. They should make that trade. But if a team is fed up and had enough, if a team like the Pelicans feels like they're being forced to do this,
and they just don't want to.
yeah, like you could not blame them.
Yeah,
if part of them is
that.
like, fuck this, I don't want to do that trade. Like,
yeah, I'd respect
we're not
that.
going to be good. Like, it's not going to, like, maybe in 3 years they all turn out to be pretty good players, but
I mean, yeah,
Brandon Ingram is never going to be Anthony Davis,
I mean, there's always a potential that none of them will turn out.
right?
Would I really care if the Pelicans said we're not trading you and just held on to Anthony Davis until his contract was up? They'd probably end up being in the same spot, if not, they might be a little worse because they don't have all the players, but I don't see them being, a playoff team with getting those players. But you're gonna have to hit on one of them.
Yeah.
At least hit on one of them.
What if it's already been kind of so NBA scouts, what if the word on the street in their community is that these players that the Lakers are trying to trade away maybe just aren't that good? I mean, Lonzo's okay, right? He hasn't really they were talking about him being a transformational player for a franchise.
I mean, he's
I don't
okay,
know about that. I mean, people said it, but I never saw that. Like, it was.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
He can pass. He can play defense.
his shot is so.
Yeah, shots. Yeah, I mean, he's a nice player, but
I think he can run a team, but you definitely have to have scorers around him.
yeah,
He's not going to necessarily score. I'd compare him to Rubio.
yeah,
they're Rubio could get he could get assists, he could get rebounds, he could run a fast break. Lonzo can do the same thing. Neither one of them have a great jump shot.
yeah. That's a good comparison.
Don't you think Kuzma's the best one out of them?
Yeah,
I mean, Ingram is average, maybe.
he's got a high ceiling.
Does he?
Yeah,
He's
big. He can dribble.
He's always had that comparison to Durant.
He's not big. I mean, he's like tall.
Yeah,
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's got, he's a good athlete for his size, like how tall he is. Like, he's got, I don't know if I want to say guard skills, but he definitely can, create a shot or, handle the ball. He can score. Like, he's a good scorer.
Well, he also needs to have the ball. I mean, they have too many ball handlers on that team right now.
I think if you gave me my choice of any of them, Kuzma would be my choice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think he has the highest upside out of all of them, and it's probably the one player that they could hit on. And it's to me, if I'm the Pelicans, it's a decent trade because of Kuzma and the fact that you're going to get those other two just in case one of those guys hit too. Because I think Kuzma's already going to be above average to good. You know what I mean? And if they want to say, hey, screw it, I'm all for that too. If they don't want to be held hostage and make AD sit around New Orleans, which, by the way, that's a warm market. It's a decent team. They put a playoff team around them. They tried when didn't they trade for Cousins?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they've tried lots of things. It's not like they're just, letting him rot at the bottom of the Western Conference, and not putting anything around him. They're trying to put, a good team around him. Not only Cousins, but Drew Holiday and, signing Mirotic and Julius Randle and, just they had Rondo last year. I mean, they were trying to put people around him. Because I'm sure they wanted to convince him to stay. They figured this day was coming.
but why did they
I don't
gotta
think he
convince
hates it.
someone to stay though?
He doesn't hate it there.
Well, why?
I think LeBron wants him in LA, and he's like, wow, yeah, that'd be cool.
And they both got the same age.
Right.
And
It's like
Adam
it's like
Silver's
an
like,
orchestrated.
sure, go ahead.
It's an orchestrated thing.
That's why the NBA is broken. You know what I mean? It's just superstars running the show, and the owners don't say anything about it because they're making so much money now. Because the ratings keep going. People eat this shit up. The ratings keep going up. It's not about team anymore. It's about which player's playing where with what super team, what type of coverage is covering what team, where LeBron's playing. It's weird. And
It's hard for me to criticize LeBron about that, though. Like, That dude is the.
Well, I'm not criticizing
He's
him.
at the center of the NBA universe. Like, he makes it go pretty much.
Right.
Like, you can't take that away from him. And if he wants to, like, wield some power, like, who am I to say you shouldn't do that? Like, he has power. Like, he's deciding to use it. Like, it sucks for fans of teams that are, like, like us in Minnesota or, Indiana or Denver or New Orleans or Memphis or
Detroit.
Yeah, all these other places. Like, we hate it, but like you said, the league is super, popular right now. Like, it's working. It's hard for me to be just a guy here in Minnesota saying, hey, this sucks. Like, they're not going to care.
You know what Glenn Taylor bought the Timberwolves for?
200?
Wasn't it like 60 or 80?
That could be right.
I think it was like 80.
Yeah, that could be right.
You know what it's worth now?
$1 billion?
2.4 or something, 2.3.
Is it?
Yeah. And it's all because of the TV contracts.
Yeah.
And what's driving the TV contracts? It's the players. The promotion of these individual players is on a different level in the NBA, and they're making money. It's working.
Yeah.
So it'd just be nice as a fan to go into the beginning of the year and actually feel like you have hope.
It says he paid $89 million.
Does it?
Yeah. On Forbes.com.
So yeah, $89 million. He made.
It was in 1995.
What is it worth now?
Oh, let's see.
No, it's not that. It's not worth that.
What does that even mean?
That means $1,660,000,000.
Is that 1.06 billion?
Yeah, it's worth more than that. Go to Forbes.
I thought
has
it was $1 billion.
It's more than that now. With the after the upgrades on the Target Center and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This team value calculated as of February of 2018, so it's probably gone up a little bit.
Yeah, it is $1 billion. Whatever.
Still a shit ton of money.
It's still $900 million.
Yeah, that's still $900 million more than you paid for it.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah.
Ziggy bought the Vikings for. Maybe I was thinking the Vikings were worth that much.
He paid like $600, didn't he?
Yeah, he paid $680 or $660 or something, and now they're worth Maybe I was thinking the Vikings were the 2.6 or the 2.3. But that's they're again, they're worth more because it's in a league where every fan at the beginning of the season goes into a season excited about their team because of the way it's set up.
Yeah, I mean, as a Timberwolves fan, I go into the season excited, to watch the Timberwolves, but I've never had the expectation of them to win the whole thing since, Garnett was here.
Yeah, why would you expect that?
I'm just saying, like, every NFL season we talk about, the Vikings. This could be the Vikings year. It could be the Vikings year. And
We ain't never saying that about the Timberwolves. I'm sorry.
well, yeah, obviously, unless something changes, with the way that I don't want to say the league needs to change as far as getting the power away from the players. I don't necessarily think that. I just think there has to be a better way to make it so you're not forming these super teams and it's just okay. And I don't blame LeBron either, because I did see a meme a couple of days ago that said, people are upset at LeBron and he's just trying to, get a team to compete with compete against 5 All-Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, punk ass Golden State.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Durant.
Durant's really the only one that you can hate on from the Warriors, though. Like,
That's
they,
it, though.
They
yeah.
built their team organically. Like,
I mean, you could hate on Cousins.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he was offered more money. Didn't the Pelicans offer him like 20, like right before he got hurt?
Yeah,
Or something
I think it was
like that.
2 years, $40 million or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, like, as a Wolves fan, like, I look at the NBA and I wish it was more like the NFL where every team had, like, theoretically a chance. But at the same time, like, I watched every Cavs-Warriors finals game and I enjoyed it, like.
Especially when the Warriors lost.
It was good competitive basketball, at a high level. It was fun to watch. Like, that's the thing. Like, I want to complain about it because I feel like all these teams are, all the good teams are kind of moving out towards the coast And we just feel like we're in flyover country and our basketball team never matters. But then I look at the league as a whole and I'm like, man, what they're doing is working. So it's always, my voice isn't going to be heard. But
the one rule change I want to see is them do the top 16 teams go to the playoffs instead of 8 from the Eastern and 8 from the Western.
that would help.
Because I think that would be more fair. There's teams in the Eastern Conference that are not marketable at all, and they end up being the 6, 7, 8 seeds.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to watch the Wizards or do you want to watch the Nuggets, for example? Well, the Nuggets are doing good this year.
They're the number 1 seed in
Right.
the West right now.
So, but still, I mean, compare it to the Spurs, right? What if aren't the Spurs like a 6 seed, 7 seed now?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
What if they fall out of the playoffs, but they still have a winning record because they're in a beast-ass conference? Would you rather see the Wizards? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't rather see the Wizards without John Wall.
Even with John Wall. Like, I'm thinking about, I'd probably rather watch the Kings play than the Wizards. Or, the Hornets.
I didn't mean to tap
I
the
love
Wizards
Kemba
either.
Walker, but the rest of the Hornets, that team's pretty unwatchable.
You don't like,
Frank Kaminsky?
yeah, I was going to say that goofy white dude from Wisconsin, but
No.
Well, anything in closing on Anthony Davis's dad?
I think
Other than you
he's
don't
just
like
trying to take a bullet for his son, making up bullshit. It's nothing to take serious.
probably it is bullshit, though. Yeah. I mean, yeah, can you fault a franchise for trading, yeah, he was, a franchise kind of player for the Celtics and Isaiah Thomas, but can you really fault them for trading him for someone that's better?
He's just trying to do his part in LeBron's plan. He is.
The whole NBA is trying to, comply with LeBron's plan. It just seems like.
Well, like you said, he's good and he drives business, so okay. I guess we'll just sit here and...
Does the popularity of the NBA go down when LeBron isn't in there anymore? When he retires?
Probably not.
It won't, because it didn't with Jordan. They'll find a new LeBron.
Yeah.
And then they'll say that this player, whoever it might be, is better than LeBron. And of course, he's way better than Jordan. The next guy's going to be way better than Jordan. Watch. LeBron's better than Jordan to everybody now.
I mean, we're probably still 5 years away from LeBron even contemplating retirement. Who is the next LeBron?
We haven't seen him yet. There is no next LeBron right now.
I mean, as far as the young guys go, I mean,
I don't think any one of them can be.
Any of these young guys could carry a league?
Nah.
I mean, it's a lot.
Durant will be a good piece for about 3 to 4 years in the gap to find the new LeBron.
That was kind of like Kobe.
Yeah, that was Kobe.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was the good piece to go from Jordan to LeBron. Zion Stevenson, could he be the new? Could he be the new LeBron?
I'm saying no.
I don't think we've seen him yet. I'm sure there's a kid in high school somewhere that is probably getting pegged right now to be the next
Bronny.
Yeah, LeBron's son.
That might be it.
I don't know.
Seriously, that might be it.
Well, I mean, it would have been LiAngelo.
LiAngelo?
Yeah, it would have been him, but
he's terrible anyway.
I mean, according to somebody we know, he said he was going to be a top 6 pick.
Who, LiAngelo?
Yeah.
Who said he's going to be a top 6 pick?
I mean, if you want to listen to NBA bloggers and podcasters, they might say Luka.
Yeah.
They're in love with him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They are in love with Luka.
I think their skin tone might have something to do with it.
It could be. I mean, he's a good player.
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
He was actually... I heard a story that scouts were telling everybody in the NBA that he was the best player in the NBA and nobody wanted to pick... not nobody, but he fell in the draft because there was doubters.
Is it they were doubters because they didn't know if he was coming over?
That's a good question.
I mean that isn't that really why Rubio fell?
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the players that were taken ahead of Rubio; they're really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just leading up to that draft. It was, well, do you draft Rubio that high because you don't know if he's going to come over? And did he say he wanted to play for the Knicks or something like that?
Yeah, I remember there was rumors about that.